Ever feel like you're surrounded by noise while you're just trying to think? Like the world is constantly distracting you, from nonstop notifications to headlines that seem more about clicks than facts? You're not imagining it. In fact, if you're someone who craves deeper conversations, challenges common ideas, and sees patterns others ignore, chances are you've already felt out of place. That discomfort might not be a personal flaw. It could be the result of something bigger, a system that's designed to reward conformity and suppress intelligence. Society isn't broken by accident. It's built this way on purpose. Intelligence doesn't just go unnoticed. It's often treated like a threat. From early education to the workplace, people who ask too many questions or think too independently are seen as difficult rather than valuable. If you're ahead, you're often told to slow down. If you're different, you're told to fit in. This leads to what some call the intelligence trap, a frustrating disconnect where the smarter you are, the more alienated you feel. And the system reinforces that. Education is about memorizing, not thinking. Work rewards obedience, not brilliance. Media keeps you hooked with outrage instead of encouraging reason. It's not that people aren't smart. It's that the environment around them discourages using their minds fully. Take attention span, for example. In 2000, it was about 12 seconds. Now it's down to 8, less than a goldfish. Why? Social media, nonstop entertainment, and fast-paced content are designed to grab attention, not build it. That's no coincidence. When people are distracted, they're easier to control. But here's the good news. You can escape the trap. The key is leverage, not working harder, but working smarter. Stop waiting for approval. Build systems that support your ideas. Create your own path, instead of waiting for the system to catch up. Surround yourself with people who challenge and understand you. Use your intelligence to build, not just to cope. The system won't change for you, but you don't have to stay trapped in it. Once you understand how it works, you can stop playing by its rules and start writing your own. From a young age, smart people often notice something odd. While others are content with the surface of things, you want to go deeper. You ask why, not just how. You question assumptions. But instead of being supported, you're told to tone it down. Don't overthink it. Just go with it. This reaction isn't random. It reflects a deeper pattern. Society is not built to nurture intelligence. It's built to manage it. Intelligent people often internalize their difference as a personal flaw. They assume they're awkward, impatient, or just bad at fitting in. But the problem isn't them. It's the structure they're placed in. The system is optimized for the average, not the exceptional. That's why complex ideas get flattened and deep discussions get dismissed. Here's something else people rarely talk about. Intelligence isn't just about IQ. It's about pattern recognition, creative problem solving, emotional regulation, and seeing what others miss. But modern life penalizes all of that. Social media promotes simplicity. News cycles prioritize speed over accuracy. Even conversations are shrinking, reduced to memes, reactions, and quick takes. And this isn't just inconvenient. It's damaging. When you can't use your mind the way it's built to work, it wears you down. It leads to constant boredom, social disconnection, and a sense that something is off in the world, even if you can't explain it clearly. But here's a powerful insight. Intelligence is not the problem. It's the underused solution. The challenge is learning how to use it in a world that doesn't reward it. That starts by recognizing your mind as a tool that needs the right environment, not just for success, but for survival. If you're constantly frustrated by shallow thinking or meaningless distractions, that's not arrogance. It's a sign you're paying attention. And the more you understand that this discomfort is structural, not personal, the sooner you can shift your energy from trying to fit in to building something better. By now you may have wondered, if intelligence is so valuable, why doesn't society embrace it? Shouldn't more intelligent people make everything better? That's a logical assumption, but it misses a key reality. The system doesn't prioritize what's best. It prioritizes what's easiest to manage. Intelligence doesn't scale easily. Systems, especially large ones like governments, schools, and corporations, thrive on predictability. They don't want innovation. They want stability. Smart people ask questions that slow things down. They challenge processes, expose weak logic, and push for change. That makes them inconvenient in a world built around routine. Think about work. Most jobs are designed around task repetition, not creative problem solving. That's why the most innovative employees often hit a ceiling. They become threats to structure. The ones who rise are usually the ones who cooperate, not the ones who challenge. This same logic applies to education. Schools were never designed to nurture independent thinkers. They were built during the industrial era to train compliant workers. That's why they emphasize memorization and discourage questioning. A child who thinks differently is more likely to be labeled disruptive than gifted. But here's a crucial distinction. It's not about intelligence being unneeded. It's about it being uncontrollable. Once people start thinking for themselves, they ask better questions. They make different choices. They stop accepting surface answers. And that threatens any system based on passive compliance. The digital age has made this worse, not better. We often assume technology expands minds, but in reality it often compresses them. Social platforms train people to react, not reflect. Algorithms show you what you already agree with. Over time, this conditions people to avoid complexity and resist uncertainty, two things that intelligent thinking requires. So if you're feeling like you think differently, it's not an illusion. You're operating on a level that society isn't built to support. But that difference is also your power, if you know how to use it strategically. The next step isn't fixing the system. It's learning how to function outside of it, by building leverage, finding aligned people, and creating a reality where your intelligence isn't suppressed, it's applied. A common belief among smart people is that if they just work harder, they'll eventually be recognized and rewarded. But this is one of the biggest traps. The system doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards usefulness. And if your intelligence doesn't directly serve someone else's goals, it gets ignored, or worse, punished. In today's world, effort is cheap. Leverage is rare. You can grind 60 hours a week, but if you're doing work that's easily replaced or doesn't scale, you stay stuck. On the other hand, someone with less raw intelligence but high leverage, systems, capital, networks, will move further, faster, and with less effort. That's why being smart isn't enough. What matters is how you use that intelligence. Most of the world's most successful people aren't the smartest. They're just the best at applying what they know in ways that scale. Here's where most people get trapped. They wait for permission. Smart people often assume their ideas will speak for themselves. But the world doesn't reward quiet brilliance. It rewards confidence and clarity. No one will rescue you. You have to position yourself. They seek validation from the wrong people. Trying to impress bosses, coworkers, or even family who don't value deep thinking is a waste of time and energy. If someone doesn't get it, they won't suddenly start appreciating your mind just because you prove yourself. They treat intelligence like a job skill instead of a tool for freedom. Intelligence should help you build independence, not win points in someone else's game. Instead of asking, how can I get ahead in this system? A smarter question is, how can I use this system as a stepping stone to exit it? Whether it's starting a side project, building an audience, investing in assets, or learning new skills, leverage means designing your life around output that compounds over time. And none of this requires being rich to start. It just means changing your approach. Instead of trading time for money, look for ways to trade ideas, systems, or influence. Even if you're stuck in a job now, your thinking should be focused on escape velocity, not survival. If you're truly intelligent, your edge isn't working harder. It's seeing differently. The goal isn't to win the game. It's to realize the game is rigged, then build something better outside of it. Most people think success is about being smart. But intelligence without direction is like a high-powered engine with no wheels. It might run, but it's not going anywhere. That's why many highly intelligent people stay stuck, exhausted, underpaid, and invisible. The missing piece? Energy management and environment design. The most successful people don't just think better. They manage their energy like it's currency. They treat focus, attention, and physical health as non-negotiable. If your brain is a high-performance computer, then your body is the power supply. If the power's weak, the whole system crashes. Here are 3 types of energy smart people must protect. Physical energy. No amount of raw intelligence will help if you're constantly tired. Sleep, nutrition, and movement aren't wellness tips. They're performance essentials. A sharp mind inside a rundown body is like putting a race car engine in a rusted frame. Mental energy. Every time you check your phone, argue with someone who doesn't get you, or multitask across 5 tabs, you're draining your mental bandwidth. High-functioning thinkers do one thing differently. They control what they pay attention to. They cut noise. They schedule deep work. They build mental walls. Emotional energy. This is the most overlooked. Intelligent people often waste energy trying to prove themselves to people who don't understand or appreciate deep thinking. That validation loop is a trap. Once you stop needing approval from the average, you unlock your actual power. Stop thinking of yourself as an employee or student inside the system. Think of yourself as a builder standing outside of it. Your job isn't to rise within the ranks. It's to create your own terrain. That means building something, anything, that gives you leverage. A product, a business, an audience, a unique skill stack. Something that compounds and frees you. Don't confuse intelligence with complexity. Smart people often get caught trying to make everything advanced. But the real flex is clarity. Can you take a complex idea and explain it in one sentence? That's what makes you effective. Not how smart you sound, but how clearly others can understand what you mean. You don't need more IQ points. You need a strategy. You need to guard your energy. You need to stop spending time in places, jobs, and conversations that don't stretch you. The system is draining by design. But once you stop letting it define your identity and start designing your environment to match your mind, that's when the escape begins. Now that you understand how the system traps intelligence through distraction, doubt, and dependence, the next question is, how do you break free? The answer isn't just mindset. It's infrastructure. You need to start building things the system doesn't control. Independence isn't about quitting your job tomorrow. It's about creating options, so you no longer rely on environments that undervalue your intelligence. And there are two forms of independence that matter most: financial and social. If you're always worried about rent, bills, or job security, your mental energy is spent on survival, not strategy. That's by design. When you're exhausted, you don't rebel. You comply. Start small. You don't need a six-figure business to begin. You just need to stop trading every hour for a fixed paycheck. Learn skills that can scale: writing, coding, marketing, design, product creation, investing. These aren't just trendy buzzwords. They're ways to detach your income from a single employer. True freedom begins when your money is no longer tied to someone else's permission. Once your income comes from something you built, you stop fearing what others think, say, or approve. Many intelligent people feel alone, not because they're antisocial, but because they're surrounded by the wrong people. You can't grow if you're constantly shrinking yourself to be understood. Instead of trying to fit in, start filtering. Spend time with people who talk in frameworks, not gossip. People who ask questions instead of reacting. People who want to build, not just consume. You don't need hundreds of friends. You need a few sharp, aligned minds. The right conversations will energize you more than rest ever could. The best way to find them? Build something public, write online, launch ideas, share your thoughts. Like-minded people will find you when you stop hiding. Most people spend their lives following rules they didn't write. School, job, society, approval. But systems are just invisible structures. And once you see them, you can start designing your own. Ask yourself, who benefits from the current system I'm in? Is this structure helping me grow or keeping me compliant? What can I build that moves me closer to autonomy? Systems don't have to be huge. A habit is a system. A product is a system. An email list is a system. Build one, then build another. Over time, systems replace dependence. And that's how real freedom starts. This isn't about rebellion for its own sake. It's about realizing that intelligence only works when it has room to move. That room won't be given to you. You have to build it. By now, you've seen the trap for what it is. Intelligence isn't rejected because it's wrong. It's rejected because it's hard to control. The system, education, work, media, wasn't built to nurture independent minds. It was built to standardize behavior. So what do? You stop trying to fix the system, and you outgrow it. Escape isn't about revolution. It's about evolution. Most people fail to break free because they're focused on fighting the old instead of building the new. They waste energy resisting instead of creating. But the most powerful, intelligent people don't fight upstream. They quietly build alternate paths. You don't need to burn bridges. You need to outpace the people still stuck on them. Success doesn't mean winning in their world. It means building your own. You don't have to be famous. You don't need millions of followers. You just need control over your time, your mind, and your direction. That's real power. That's success for intelligent people. Ask yourself, are you optimizing for approval or autonomy? Are you spending time on things that compound? Do you control the structure around your talent? Or does someone else? When intelligent people create their own systems, businesses, communities, skill stacks, they don't need to argue. They don't need to fit in. They simply operate above the noise. Intelligence becomes power only when it's applied strategically. If you're reading this, you already have the thinking power. Now you need leverage, systems that scale what you know, clarity, A simple plan to move forward without distraction. Tribe. People who don't just tolerate your mind, but sharpen it. That's the real shift. From being trapped in a world that doesn't get you, to designing one that needs you. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are simply early. Early to see the problems. Early to want more. Early to build what comes next. Don't go back to sleep. Build forward. Quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. This isn't just a mindset. It's a move. And now, the move is yours.